Victorious Nigerian team who arrived yesterday from Ethiopia, but they're actually targeting the podium at the senior level. Right now, they feel they will no longer compete at the junior level. It's going to be at the senior tournament. Talking about the world, actually disappointed with the game with United performers. Welbeck United. Now let's see Manchester United dreams of a silverware this season crumbled at the theatre of dreams.
Good work in the best part of 25 minutes here. We're still no nearer knowing whether that's going to be the same again or whether they have got that X factor now to knock Manchester United out at Old Trafford. Monreal, look at the room for Ozil. Cross to Oxlade-Chamberlain, pass 3 or 4, and it's Monreal in with a chance and with the opening goal. So maybe Arsenal have got the X factor. They've certainly got the opening goal. Numbers forward, and Nacho Monreal puts Arsene Wenger's side in front in the FA Cup quarter-final.
Well, they're too open, Manchester United. It's a couple of times now, especially on this left for Arsenal, where there's been too much space, but this left-hand side, once Ozil gets 3, I think maybe the chance is wasted, but this footwork's absolutely fantastic. Really does open up Manchester United. He's clearly onside. What a composed finish as well from Monreal. Just what Arsenal would want now with that lead. Fantastic goal.
Here's Rooney. And Herrera. Valencia to drive forward. Supported by Di Maria. Whips it in! And Wayne Rooney has done it again at Arsenal's expense. Brilliant cross, emphatic header. 1-1 at Old Trafford.
What a response from Manchester United. You talked about a bit of magic, and they got it from the right-hand side. Di Maria, once he gets it out of his feet, he really does fizz this cross in. Koscielny just lets Rooney run off the back of him. But there's nothing stopping that cross. It's absolutely inch perfect with pace. And all Rooney has to do is then just steer it past the goalkeeper. Fantastic response for Manchester United.
A goal in a third-round win at Yeovil. Oh, and now De Gea left short. It's an open goal for Danny Welbeck. Comes back to front against Manchester United for the second time tonight. But this is the one they'll talk about. Welbeck's return to his home city. Now, can Arsene Wenger's side secure the position this time around?
Just about how secure and solid they look. Simple long ball. Valencia with such a poor pass. Himself. Welbeck against his old club. Inexplicable mistake. And Valencia gives Arsenal quick thinking.
Well, Louis van Gaal, who said
of the FA Cup, and that's the only trophy Van Gaal was actually hoping on. Because now it's going to be and not the Manchester United that they always go for titles. This time around, they will now, like Arsenal in the past years, just trying to get a spot in the Champions League. Which Chinensia joins me now this morning. Clearly not happy, I know that. You have a soft spot for Man United, we all know that.
Of course, it's a game of football. Things happen. Arsenal deserved their win yesterday. they played like they wanted it.
Okay, we'll come to that, of course. We'll come to that much later now. Well, you can talk to us on Twitter and, of course, on Facebook. And I'm going to ask a question this morning, and it's definitely on this FA Cup and, of course, the chances of United finishing in top 4. And if you look at the formation, if you look at what Louis van Gaal is actually playing, most Manchester United fans are already complaining that they are really not used to these long balls kind of situation. Well, right now, what is the possibility that this team, this crop of players, can restore the glory back to Man United? And of course, if Louis van Gaal can actually take them to top 4. If you consider the next games they will be playing, they're playing Tottenham Hotspur, they're playing Arsenal, they're playing Manchester City, and of course they're playing Liverpool and even Chelsea. So that is definitely not, well, simple games, you will say. You think they can really finish top, because that is their only targets to play in the Champions League next season. Okay, now, starting from home. Last week, we actually talked about the fact that Team Nigeria are going to Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, having some challenges, the finance and all that. But finally, of course, they had to go there. And trust the Nigerian spirit, they came back with 27 medals. Now, they arrived yesterday. We caught up with some of them at the airport, and they were really, really happy with not just their performance and with the fact that, okay, they went there with all the challenges they had, setting some records and coming back.
I told you last week when we talked about it that at this stage of their careers, the Junior Athletics Championship, it's all about, it's mostly about raw talent, and determination and how well you really want to do for your team.
Yes.
When you get, like we talked about last week, when you get older, you start bringing in things about nourishment, training schedule, training regime, when to peak and when not to peak. So definitely, I was expecting them to go there and do the country proud, which they have actually done. So it's now for the right authorities to do what they're supposed to do to encourage these young guys. I said Brome, fantastic. Divino Duduro, fantastic. The discovery at, I think 2-3 years ago, we discovered Divino Duduro, and it's good to see his progression. And I believe that some other people have been discovered at this other, discovered at this just concluded meet. So basically, it's a good one for Nigeria. I'm happy, I'm impressed with the performance. But another thing that has caught my eye in the past couple of years, or almost a decade now, the South Africans are really catching up when it comes to the track and field. We used to say the South Africans were all about the other sports, rugby, cricket, and the rest of them. Yeah, my point exactly. Back in the day, you say this, the track and field events reserved for the West Africans, Nigerians, Ghanaians, and all that. But what South Africans have been doing, they've been concentrating on the field events more. The way the Kenyans concentrate on the long distance and middle distance races, the South Africans have been doing lots of field events. They have world beaters, and when it comes to javelin, shot put, pole vault, and the rest of them. So I think they found their own niche in that, on the field. So definitely they are going to do that. And if we're not careful enough, they will soon catch up with us.
Yeah, that's the part, because if you check at this junior level, fine, Nigeria did very well. We even won a silver medal in pole vault and all that, which we haven't done in a long time.
Yeah.
Heptathlon, of course, a good medal. For 35 years, we haven't done that. And of course, being able to do this, and just like you said, if you're able to keep these athletes together and have a smooth progression at the senior level, the World Championships, at the Olympic Games, and of course, all African Games also, it's coming. I think that's the target, of course, that's also the focus for the Athletics Federation of Nigeria. And of course, National Sports Commission, providing grants is definitely important for athletes. That's the only way they can perform better than they're doing. The reason you're having Divine Udurese, Bruma, and the likes are actually doing very well, winning more medals than the other athletes, is because they've got sponsorship, and they're even going to the US much later in the year, they've got scholarship and all that. So if other athletes can be given same opportunity, having grants and all that, I think they can actually do well. Because immediately after the arrival, we actually saw some athletes having to go to Oshodi, taking bus and going home and all that. This athlete that actually won medals. Well, let's just get to listen to Temidai, of course, who said it was more like a child's play when she went for the heptathlon. And of course, she came out with a gold. And of course, Ese Brume and Divine Duduru, how prepared they will be for the other championships this year.
Well, I'm also surprised myself, because it's just that the team believes I could do it, so I just have to hold on to that, take the courage and make them proud. From the beginning, I was told to catch phone. So at the end of the first day, I realized I was leading. So I thought that even if I'm catching phone, this thing I still have to compete. So I had to fight on. better performance and more good, definitely. In bigger competitions by His grace.
I did it last 2 years, but it was with aided. So I told myself that I'll have to repeat it this year without doing it. I'm looking forward to climb the podium at the World Championship and also at the African Games coming up this year.
Now my target is the World Championship and all African Games. And my expectation right now in the All Nigeria in the 200 meter is to get a 20.00 in the 200 meter, and the 100 meter is to get a 10.00. I believe getting those time, I will be able to make a better standard in the World Championship, and running with the top world athletes, I think that is going to better my performance.
Well, now, Falila Togunkoya was actually the team manager who led the team to Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Actually spoke about Timidayo, how they had to encourage her to compete in that heptathlon. Of course, she got something out of that. Let's listen to her.